Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me for a brand new art journaling video. My name is April and I am the creator behind Moonlight Cabin, and basically I think for this channel I wanted to shift gears a little bit and start doing things that are a little bit more on the creative side and not necessarily just functional planning. So for today's art journal, I was basically inspired by something that I was reading recently. And I know that this word can be thrown around a little bit, but it is central to mindfulness and the process of slowing down and basically living in the present moment. And if you're not aware already, I am a huge fan of neutral colours. I'm not necessarily a big user of bright colours, so that's why you're going to see this sort of colour palette running through pretty much most of everything that I do. That's not to say I don't love colour, I do. I just feel more at home with neutrals. That's just more me, so I'm definitely choosing to embrace that this year. Alright, so with slowing down and mindfulness and all that kind of thinking, I think for this year, my goal or my word for the year, if you've seen my bullet journal videos, is progress, or progress, however you want to pronounce that. And I suppose a good way to sum it up is any kind of movement that is in the right direction. So despite how little or how big progress I'm making on anything towards my goals, I think the main thing is as long as I'm moving forward, some kind of forward momentum. So what I've found that can hold me back most of the time is negative self-talk and self-doubt and that kind of thing. So in terms of moving in the right direction, something that I've found can hold me back a little bit is negative self-talk and just kind of a negative perception of myself. And that can tend to hinder any progress, and it can also cause setbacks. That's definitely not my intention, but it is a pretty popular way to behave, unfortunately, for a lot of people. And in a way, we can sort of stand in our own way towards our goals, whatever they may be. To combat those feelings of conflict, I suppose you could call it, is to practice mindfulness and to slow down. And, the practice of art itself is a really good way to do that because you are forced to focus on one task at a time. So that turns out to be something that can maybe silence the negative thoughts running through your head, and it might also carve out new pathways in your brain. I know that that's terribly scientific and pretty heavy for this video to think about, but I think that gives me hope, and I think that gives a lot of other people hope too, that the habits that we have formed and the way that we perceive ourselves and the way that we perceive others can change, and we're not necessarily imprisoned by those thoughts. And it's funny that I mentioned imprisoned because these lines that I'm drawing with this pencil kind of remind me of prison bars. And the bird, I guess it's a little bit cliche, but I wanted to kind of break free from those prison bars and fly off into the sunset and be a little bit more relaxed in my thought process. So this quote that I'm writing is "Be where you are." Again, is very centered in presence and mindfulness, and to concentrate on the moment that you are currently in, not the one that you were in or the one that you were about to go into. I hope all this makes sense, but overall, it was a very therapeutic process, and I hope that you enjoyed it as well, and I hope that you give it a go too, not just art journaling, but the practice of mindfulness and slowing down. So I will leave you to enjoy the rest of the video in peace. But if you haven't already, please like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below on your word for the year. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.